Roubaix. December 2006. Junon Vuillard, married to Abel, is the iron-willed matriarch of the family. Junon held her family together through tough times. But her willpower made her children resentful. She remains handsome. And though her husband is obese and elderly, he retains clarity, acceptance, tolerance, and unconditional love for his family. He and their mutual love holds a fragmented family together, albeit uneasily. They have 3 children in their 30s. Eldest is Elizabeth, a successful playwright married to the equally successful Claude. Their only child is 16-year-old Paul, mentally ill and taking powerful medication. The middle child is Henry, who drinks too much and has always fought with everyone else. He has a new girlfriend, Fournier. Ivan is the youngest sibling, married to Sylvia with 2 sons, Basile and Baptiste. Henry and Ivan are friends with Simon, a cousin who was raised with them after his parents' death. Simon works in Abel's plant, but is a part-time artist. He is an alcoholic, frequently in trouble for public brawling. All 3 men were interested in Sylvia once, but manipulated her to think that only Ivan loved her. She married and grew to love him. A deceased sibling, Joseph, is the presence around which everyone's psyches revolve. He died of leukemia when 6, after his parents tried to save him by having another child who might be a bone marrow donor. 6 years before the Christmas gathering on which the film focuses, Henry faced bankruptcy. Elizabeth paid off his debts, but demanded that he never see her again, meaning he had to be excluded from family gatherings. Family members speculate on the reason Elizabeth set this condition. Just before Christmas, Junon learns she has acute myeloid leukemia and will soon die unless she has a bone marrow transplant. Her extended family gathers at her home and immediately start bickering. Junon has asked them to be tested to see if they qualify to donate bone marrow. Elizabeth fights with Henry, who drinks heavily and hides Paul's medication. Paul fears the blood test might reveal Claude is not his biological father. Henry refuses the test, because he never loved his mother. Fournier has agreed to visit before leaving to spend the holiday with her own family. Her honesty and gentleness soothe Henry, and she stays for 2 days. On the 23rd of December, Rossamy visits for dinner and fireworks. She was Abel's mother's friend, although it is suggested that they were lesbian lovers. Rossamy tells Sylvia that Simon stopped seeing Sylvia because he believed she would be happier with Ivan. Sylvia feels betrayed and manipulated. Henry has the test, discovers he qualifies as a donor, and decides he wants to. Simon begins drinking heavily in cafes, and the family searches for him. Sylvia discovers him and confesses that she knows he loves her. She and Simon spend several hours talking, then return to the house and make love. Paul tells Henry about his fears. Henry convinces him that he is not his father, confirmed by the test, and reassures Paul that it is not a failing to be afraid. They bond, and Paul's mental condition improves. On Christmas Day, Abel and Elizabeth discuss Elizabeth's long-standing depression, and Abel reads her the prologue to Friedrich Nietzsche's On the Genealogy of Morality, which discusses about how well we know or don't know ourselves. Abel suggests that Elizabeth fears death, and this has led to her caution and depression. The film ends with Ivan discovering his wife has had sex with Simon. They made no effort to hide it, waking up together in bed and greeting her children as they come bearing tea. Ivan seems hardly to respond, as though he has expected it. Paul stays behind with Henry, who is having a positive effect on his mental health. Henry donates his bone marrow to Junon. but she announces her conviction that her body will reject the transplant. Elizabeth speculates that Junon will live, but Henry is shown flipping a coin in the hospital in front of his mother and not revealing the result.